So what happens when a truly revolutionary, life-saving drug hits the market, but it's way too expensive for the very people who need it the most? Well, today, we're diving into a groundbreaking deal in India that's trying to fix that exact problem. And believe me, there are billions of dollars and millions of lives hanging in the balance.
To really get what's at stake here, you just need to know one number: $100 billion. That's right, that's how big the global market for these GLP-1 drugs is expected to be by 2030. The financial stakes in this story are just absolutely massive.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about this billion-dollar drug itself. Then, we'll get into the huge problem of access. After that, we'll look at the clever alliance that's been formed and the generic game changer they're bringing to the table. And finally, we'll ask the big question: what happens next?
Okay, so let's get into it. What is this drug that's at the center of a $100 billion market? I'm sure you've seen the headlines about semaglutide, but let's really unpack what it is and why it's such a big deal.
So, semaglutide is what's known as a GLP-1 receptor agonist. You probably know it by its brand names, like Ozempic and Wegovy. Basically, what it does is mimic a natural hormone that helps control your blood sugar and, makes you feel full. It was developed by Novo Nordisk, and it has just been incredibly effective for treating type 2 diabetes and obesity.
And look, we're not just talking about any old medication here. Its effectiveness has turned it into a true blockbuster. I mean, it's fundamentally changed how doctors treat these conditions and has created a whole new multi-billion-dollar industry practically overnight. But, and this is a big but, with that incredible success comes a huge problem, one that really gets to the core of modern medicine: access. Who actually gets to use these so-called miracle drugs? To really understand this problem, you have to look at India. It's a country that's often called the diabetes capital of the world, and the scale of the need there is, well, it's almost hard to wrap your head around.
Think about this for a second. In India, 101 million people are living with diabetes right now. And even crazier, another 136 million are pre-diabetic. This creates an almost unimaginable demand for a treatment that's not just effective, but affordable. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. You've got these incredible, life-changing innovations, but they cost so much that the vast majority of people who need them can't get them. It creates this huge, painful gap between what medicine can do and who it can actually help.
But what if you could actually close that gap? Well, that's exactly what two major Indian pharmaceutical companies are trying to do with a really powerful new partnership.
This alliance is just a perfect match. On one side, you have Natco Pharma. They're the science and manufacturing brains of the operation. They develop the product, they make it, and they get it through all the regulatory hoops. And on the other side, you've got Eris Lifesciences. They're the commercial engine, the muscle on the ground. They have this massive sales network and the market access to actually get the drug to patients all across India. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can see the whole strategy laid out right here in this quote from Eris's chairman, Amit Bakshi. He calls it a pivotal step, and he's totally right. It perfectly combines Natco's R&D power with Eris's market strength. It's a textbook synergy play. So the plan itself is pretty straightforward, and honestly, it's brilliant. It's just 4 steps. 1, Natco develops and makes the drug. 2, Natco gets it approved. 3, Eris launches it and sells it all over India. And 4, they both share in the profits. It's just a clean, smart, effective division of labor.
Okay, so this whole thing, this whole brilliant partnership, it all hinges on one single crucial element. The one thing that makes this entire plan work: creating a generic version of semaglutide.
Now, for anyone who's not familiar, a generic drug is basically a copy of the brand name original. It's got the same dosage, safety, performance, the whole shebang. But here's the key. The generic companies didn't have to spend billions on the initial research, so they can sell it for a much, much lower price.
And this, right here, this is the aha moment. The high cost of the brand name drug is like a huge wall keeping people out. The generic version, it just smashes right through that wall, dramatically cutting the price and making treatment accessible to millions more people. This is the whole point of the partnership.
So, the deal is done, the plan is in motion, but what does it all mean? What are the ripple effects of this one partnership going to be?
Well, there are really 4 huge things to watch. First, and this is the most important one, millions more patients in India could get access to a drug they desperately need. Second, this creates some serious competition for the original maker, Novo Nordisk. Third, this whole deal could become a blueprint, a model for how to launch other expensive drugs in places like India. And finally, it really solidifies India's status as a global pharmaceutical powerhouse.
This quote from Natco's CEO is really telling, isn't it? He's emphasizing their pride in their technical skills, especially with complex stuff like this. It's basically a statement of confidence, saying, yeah, we can do this. We can deliver and compete at the very highest level.
And that really leaves us with one big final question. You've got a blockbuster drug, a massive health crisis, and a clever partnership designed to bridge that gap between them. So, is this the new model? Is this how we get the world's most important medicines to the people who need them the most? Well, that's something we'll all be watching.